We've been on this series of I'm Kind of Christian. And if you've missed some of it, let me just define for you what we mean by that I'm kind of Christian. Here's how we defined it as. It is someone that is half-hearted in their faith, who calls themselves a Christian without truly following Jesus. Do y'all know people like that? Are y'all there this morning like, no, I don't want to get involved. Don't want to be judgmental, Pastor. No, how many of you know people that they'll say, well, I'm a Christian, and you're looking at them like, really? You? Because I couldn't tell. Before I was a Christian, that's pretty much how I acted, because we live in this Bible Belt where everybody's a Christian. It's so broad term that everybody's a Christian. When we say that everybody's a Christian, how it is like, well, I believe in Jesus, so I guess I'm a Christian. But there's a huge difference between I believe in Jesus and I'm following Jesus. So you might give yourself the label of a Christian without truly the actions of a Christian, the character that goes with it of a Christian. So that's where we're at. I'm kind of Christian. And this morning we're gonna go with this as far we're calling it I kind of believe is what we're gonna talk about this morning. I kind of believe. I kind of believe. And by the way, I did look up, in case for all of you English people out there, kinda is in the Webster's dictionary now. So just it is okay to say, I kind of believe. And what I'm talking about is a distorted belief in God that is very common, I believe, in the modern church, that affects a lot of these kind of Christian that have this mentality. I kind of believe, and if you'll allow me this morning, I kind of want to set it up a little bit, give you a visual, if you will, of what I'm talking about in this kind of believe mentality. And if you'll go back on just memory with me, I remember when I went into middle school, and this is so long ago. But I remember I was so excited because when you go from elementary to middle school, you get to walk halls now. You get to, we got our own locker back then. I don't know if they still do now, but we had our own locker. It was a great place to get beat up by the older kids next to. It was awesome. It was a good place to get that little punch in that when they were walking by, so you walk with sore arms and stuff. I was so excited. One of the things, and this is a normal middle schooler, I believe. One of the things that I was so excited about was now in middle school, they had vending machines. I didn't have that in elementary. I was stuck with whatever my mom packed me for lunch in that brown bag, and with my drink that was wrapped up in tin foil, right? The original Yeti, right there. We keep that drink cold forever. That was how we had in middle school, so I was so excited. Or in grade school, so I was so excited. In middle school, it felt like if I had 50 cents in my pocket, I've got options. And I loved having options. This idea that I could go to this machine, and with 50 cents, if I put 50 cents in, I had choices of chips, candy bars, Oh, and on a good day, after my allowance, oh, that was just $1, by the way, and I would break it, to get. I had 4 quarters. That's 2 times at the vending machine, and that's where it was going. Put my 50 cents in. I'm like, this has been a stressful day. I need a Hershey's with almonds right now. That's the best candy bar they ever made. Hershey's with almonds, so I put my 50 cents in and scan down row A, B, C, C. Now 1, 2, 3, C. 3. Push that button, and that treat just falls right in there. You get to reach in. It was heaven, wasn't it? That for a middle schooler, it's heaven. When I went to work and they had vending machines there, it's still heaven. When I go to a hospital call and I'm there waiting with somebody forever as they're going through something, and I look in that waiting room in the corner, that vending machine, it still draws me to it. The vending machine, the choices that comes out. And the worst thing, though, come on, and y'all have been there too. It can't just be me. The very worst thing is when you put your last 50 cents in and you scan and you punch in and that arm spins to push that candy bar and it sticks. And that candy bar doesn't fall. How do you respond? Come on, how is it? I mean, you shake it, you hit it, you push it a little bit, you call somebody, you tell them, I was robbed, this thing stole my money. I mean, it doesn't matter that there was those couple of times that I got 2 for the price of 1 and somebody else got robbed. But this is my time that I'm robbed and I want justified this time, this moment, because I was robbed. Follow me here because I think this is where I'm going. You think, like, I don't know where he's going with this. I think sometimes we treat God like he's a vending machine. That is our faith level with God, is that we look at him the same way we look as a vending machine. We put in our prayer. We put in our, not 50 cents, but we put in our due diligence. I mean, God, hey, I came to church. I came to church early today. God, I prayed yesterday. I'm ready to give. I've read my Bible. I know where my Bible is. I grabbed it, and God, I've done these things, and now I want my answer. My scroll down. I want this prayer right here, this specific prayer. And we look at God as a vending machine, and when he doesn't answer the way we want him to answer, and he doesn't respond the way we want him to respond, we go in the same just upset attitude of, God, I did what I was supposed to do. Now you're supposed to do what I want you to do. We have a deal right now, God, and you're not coming through on your deal, and I feel unjustified, and I feel hurt, and I feel rejected, and I feel pain. And that's the same deal we go with God, and we treat him like he's a vending machine because we look at him with a transactional faith, and that is not what God intended. God intended us to have a relational faith with him, not a transactional faith. And I believe this is one of the worst lies of the enemy. And I see more people fall out of church because they have this idea, because God didn't meet my need the way I thought he should meet my need. I did all the things I was supposed to do. I put in my 50 cents, if you will. I put in my time, I put in my obedience, I put in what I thought was required. Now, God, you're supposed to keep up your end of the deal and meet my need and answer my prayer, and you didn't. And I see more people hurt because they had a wrong mentality of what faith truly was, a wrong belief system in God, and it caused them to then turn their back on God because I don't want to serve a God who does that. So this morning, I want to take us to a new level, really, of a relational faith with Him, what it's supposed to be, not a transactional faith. And listen, if you've ever been in that place, and you can be honest this morning, if you've ever been in that place to where you've been hurt because God didn't answer what you thought He was supposed to answer, can we just be honest? I've been there myself. That God, I prayed, I tithed, I preached, I served you, I've done all these things, and you didn't answer my prayer. And if you've ever got a little hurt by that, and you've ever felt rejected by that, can I tell you, you're not alone. I just want to show you a couple of places in the Word of God. Just let you know you're not alone. Tell your neighbor you're not alone. You're not alone. I need y'all to talk a little bit because y'all are quiet on me. You're not alone. Look at this in Exodus, chapter 16, verse 3. And I just want to look at this mentality here of the children of Israel right now. This mentality. They said, if only the Lord had killed us back in Egypt. They moaned. Have you ever moaned to God? Moaned and complained. I mean, you moaned. There we sat around pots filled with meat and ate all the bread we wanted. But now you have brought us into the wilderness to starve us all to death. Here's basically what they're saying at this moment. Here's what children of Israel are saying. They're saying, God, we trusted you, and we are struggling so much. We trusted you, and here we are struggling. God, you didn't do what we thought you were going to do. We thought when you brought us out that we would be fine. We trusted in you, and you're letting us down. Have you ever felt that way? Look at Jonah. I love Jonah's, his moment of this. In chapter 4, verse 2, it says, so he complained to the Lord about it. Jonah did. Have you ever done that? He complained to the Lord about it, saying, didn't I say before I left home that you would do this, Lord? This is why I ran away to Tarshish. I knew that you are a merciful and compassionate God, slow to get angry, and filled with unfailing love. Yeah, don't you hate those attributes of God? Said you are eager to turn your back from destroying people. In other words, this is what Jonah is saying at that moment. He said, God, I obeyed you, at least sort of. I mean, I kind of did it. I kind of obeyed you. Eventually, I got to where you wanted me to be. I obeyed you. And so, God, why are you blessing them instead of blessing me? I've been going through this stuff. I just spent time in the belly of a whale. And here you are blessing them. This is this mindset. Look at Martha in John chapter 11 when Lazarus is dead, and look at Martha's plea. She goes to Jesus and says, Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died. This is this mentality. Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. In other words, we've served you. My brother served you. Why did you let this happen? This is that mentality. I've done everything. He did everything. Why did you let this happen? You could have stopped it, but you didn't. You could have moved, but you didn't. You could have came, but you didn't. This wasn't how it's supposed to happen. You could have done something, and you didn't. Let me give you one more. Remember the story of the prodigal son? When he comes home, and it's such a good story, except there's a brother in there. And he has this attitude with his father, and this is what it says in Luke chapter 15, verse 28. It says the older brother was angry. Why was he angry? Because the younger brother is getting a party. He's come home and he's getting a party. And it says the older brother, he was angry and he wouldn't even go in. His father came out and begged him, but he replied, all these years I've slaved for you and never once refused to do a single thing you told me to. And in all that time, you never gave me even one young goat for a feast with my friends. Yet when this son of yours comes back after squandering all your money on prostitutes, you celebrate by killing the fatted calf. In other words, this is what he's saying. He's saying it's just not fair. This isn't fair. I've done everything you've asked. Where's my party? I've done everything you wanted me to do. I've stayed with you. Where's my blessing? I see you blessing them. Where's my blessing? When's it going to be my turn to get the extra? This is this mentality of this transactional kind of faith. Because if we're honest, most of us have been here. Most of us, by far, we think the more that we serve God, the more that we serve Him, the more that we're faithful to God, the more that we obey Him, most of us, without really knowing it, we tend to expect a little preferential treatment. And I probably butchered that word. That was a big one for me. We want God to, like, hey, show me a little something here. I mean, I've been the one that's faithful. I've been the one doing everything. They don't serve you like I serve you. Well, let me just let's get real. You've thought it. You might have even prayed it. And they don't do half of what I do, God, for you. God, if I'm praying, you should answer my prayer, not theirs. Not those people. They only come to church about once a month, God. I'm here 3 times a month. I should get my prayers answered first. Because we have this attitude and this belief in God, and it's a transactional kind of faith that God, I put in my time, I put in my prayers, I put in my money. Now I prayed. Now, God, this is what I prayed for. Answer my prayer. I did what I'm supposed to do, so God, it's your turn to do what you're supposed to do. And this is the danger part, because it feels so subtle. It almost feels like real faith. This idea. It almost feels like real faith And it's so subtle because it's like, hey, I'm staying on His word. His word said. And we're trying to hold God accountable to something. Because I did my part, God. I did what I was supposed to do. Now, God, it's your turn. You're supposed to now respond back. You're supposed to do what I want you to do now. And this is the faith that we have. In other words, here's why it's so dangerous, is because we have this attitude that God owes us. At that moment, we have this attitude like God owes me. Can I tell you just before we go any further, God doesn't owe you anything. He paid it all. If anything, we owe Him. He paid a debt we couldn't own. We couldn't ever pay. He paid the price that we could never pay. We owe Him, but this faith, this wrong mentality, faith has this idea that He owes us. It's a lie of the enemy at that moment. God, I went to church. I served you where they needed me. I read my Bible. I prayed. I fasted at the first of the year, and I hated it. I didn't like it, but they told me I should, so I did it. I even tithed, God. I tithed partly. I tithed. I gave something at least, God, and still you didn't answer my prayer. You owed me on this. And we start making our arguments with God. And I'll tell you, I feel it because it's the flesh side of the faith, and I've done it myself. I've made those arguments with God that says, God, I raised my kids in church. I did, according to your word, I raised them up. I did the whole train up a child in the ways they should go, and when they get old, they won't depart. So God, I did my part. Why aren't you doing your part? God, I prayed in faith. I believed in faith for the healing, and God, the healing didn't come. God, I've tithed faithfully. I've done those things, and I'm still living paycheck to paycheck, and you're blessing them over there. When's it going to be my turn? You owe me, God. I've been living this pure life. And holding, just waiting for the right person. And I see all my friends that God, they're getting married and they're living like heathens. When's it my turn? God, I've done the things right. When's the blessing coming my way? God, you're not living up to your end of the deal. Have you ever felt that way? And I want to tell you that true faith is relational. It's not transactional. It's about knowing and loving God for who He is, not just what He does. That's the true faith. That's the faith. But the enemy will try and get us to go into this other mentality. I think that's the danger of this name it and claim it kind of stuff. Is we're putting this holding God to a deal that we treat it like we have a contract with God. That if I do my part, God, you've got to do your part. This name it and claim it moves our faith into this transactional kind of faith instead of a relational faith where it's all about our relationship with God. And I know some of you are thinking like, Pastor, this kind of sounds a little hypocritical because it was just a couple weeks ago on that obedience one that you were saying that we get conditional blessings because of our obedience. So you preached that, and it kind of sounds like you're going against that right now. And I want to tell you, I'm really not. Here's why. I said that we get this attitude like we've got a contract with God. And we don't have a contract with God, we have a covenant with God. And our blessings are in the covenant. It's not a contract. So here's the difference. A contract is totally different than a covenant. A contract is set up, this kind of transactional faith kind of belief is set up with this contract that God, I do my part, now you're supposed to do your part. That's like a contract. A contract is built around mistrust. A contract, you write up a contract whenever it's the you lay out, hey, here's what I'm supposed to do, and now here's what you're supposed to do. Have you ever been in a contract? We were in one with our rental house that we moved into when we first came here, and we had this contract, all these pages, and here's basically what the contract was. It was you do this, you pay this, you do all these things, all this stuff, and you get to keep living here. On my side, as the owner, I'll take care of this, I'll take care of that. So it's lined up all these little things, because here's why we had to have it. I didn't know the owner of the house. He didn't know me. So the whole contract was built upon a mistrust. It's built upon because there's no trust, there's no relationship here. So we want to make sure that I get my part and you get your part and we're both taken care of. So this is kind of this contract. And then we turn that in with our faith of going, I did my part, God. I kept my end of the deal. Now you're supposed to keep your end of the deal. And we act like we have a contract with God in this mentality of faith that, God, if I do what I'm supposed to do, you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. But we don't have a contract, we have a covenant. And a covenant's totally different. Where a contract's built on mistrust, a covenant is built on relationship. A contract gets enforced by law. A covenant gets sustained by love. A huge difference there. We have a covenant with God. And here's the great thing. Listen, He established this covenant with us long before we ever agreed to it. He established this covenant with us, and it was based upon His love for us and what He has for us. That's what it was based upon. It's all based upon how good He is. And His love that He has for us is never transactional. It's a love that is covenantal, is relational. You know, to give you this picture, I think the greatest thing that we have on earth that would even be in any bit comparison to a covenant relationship with God is the marriage. Here's what I say is a marriage, why divorces happen is because people think a marriage is a contract. It's not. People think a marriage is a contract that, hey, I do my part, you do your part, you take care of me, I take care of you. We're in this 50-50, that's so wrong. Contract. That's not what a marriage is. A marriage is a covenant. It is a covenant built on relationship. It's not what I get out from you is what I can give to you. It is pouring myself, it is getting to know you in the deepest level. That is why in a marriage, you won't find this on any contract, but you see it in a covenant. We make a vow to one another that says for better or for worse. You don't get that on a contract. Contract's just for better. When worse happens, I'm out. That is my out. We write that in the contract. When the worst happens, this ends. That is my way out. That is not in the marriage because a marriage is a covenant. So it gets put in there for better or for worse, for richer or for poor. That's not in the contract. in the contract's just for richer. You quit paying, that covenant, that contract's over. When you hit poor and you can't pay it anymore, it's gone. That contract's over, but it's in the covenant of marriage because it's for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health. And here's the ending point. It's when death comes. Contracts always go as a timetable. It's for a year or 2 years. Covenant is eternal. It's till death. But that one line in there, in sickness and in health, because I have a covenant with my wife. In sickness, whether it is a horrible sickness and she can now no longer take care of me at all. So it's not based on what she can give me. It's based on what I can do for her. It's based on my love for her. So no matter what happens in our marriage, I love her forever. No matter what, whether she can ever provide any of my needs, it doesn't matter. That is not what my relationship with her is about. I love her, not what she does for me. So our covenant with God is I love Him, not for what He can do for me. I love Him for who He is, and that is my passion. It is to know Him, and whether He does anything for me or not, whether I keep putting in my prayers and they don't get answered, it doesn't matter. I love Him for who He is, not for what He does. That's the belief. It's a relational covenant belief. Look at I think one of the greatest just examples of this covenant. And no matter what this person, David, in Psalms, no matter what he was going through, no matter what he is facing, this covenant and this pursuit of God, of who He is, would just come out. I mean, look at this Psalm 6. It says, "O Lord, do not rebuke me in anger or discipline me in your rage." Look at the next verse. "Have compassion on me, Lord, That is not the one I wanted. Let me reread it. I put the wrong scripture up there, so now just listen. How about that? Well, that's a good scripture. That's getting ready to go into messianic stuff, really good prophetic things. But listen to this. It says, "O Lord, you are my God. I earnestly search for you. My soul thirsts for you. My whole body longs for you." And do you hear that passion in David in this covenant relationship? My whole body longs for you in this parched and weary land where there is no water. He goes on to say, "I have seen you in your sanctuary and gazed upon your power and glory. Your unfailing love is better than life itself. Oh, how I praise you." And later on, he says in that chapter, he says, "I lie awake thinking of you, meditating on you through the night." That is an intimate relationship right there that is taking place. Now listen, Casey, I don't think we have that kind of covenant. Not like, I like Casey. Get along with Casey. I've never gone up to Casey, and God is my witness, I never will. Say, "Casey, I meditated on you all night. I longed for you. My whole body longs for you, Casey." I've never said that. It'll never. I searched for you hard, Casey. But we do with God. because we have a different belief, a different faith, a different relationship. It is not a transactional of, hey, can you do something for me? Can you help me move? I'll help you move. Come on, I helped you move the other day. And we go back and forth because that's kind of how our relationships go, but not with God. And we can't bring that kind of relationship into our relationship with God because it's different. It's a covenant that he lives up to even when we don't. It's his love that sustains the covenant. And if we get to the place that our relationship is all about what I can get out of him, we miss it. And it's a lie of the enemy that I've seen drawn so many people away from God because we felt that God didn't keep up to his end of the deal. And I'll tell you, he always did. It's a covenant. It's a relational faith. So how do we know if we actually have this transactional kind of faith in God? Last week I gave you a couple of questions to look at. I'm going to give you a few more. I thought that went well. Let's try it again. We'll put them up there. But here's one. See if you have a transactional faith with God. And it's this: do I follow God because of what he does for me or because of who he is? You got to ask yourself that. Do I follow God because of what he does for me or because of who he is? Because I've seen a lot of people that when they have this expectation and God doesn't meet their expectation, that they feel that he failed them. And I've watched them leave church. I've watched them get out of it. I've seen them run away. I'm not following God anymore. So this is a big question. Do I follow him for who he is or for what he does? Here's another one. Do I still trust God when he doesn't answer my prayer the way I want, or do I feel betrayed? In other words, do I still worship him and believe in his goodness when I've prayed and fasted and begged him and thought he would respond a certain way and he still didn't? Or do I feel hurt and betrayed by God? Let me give you another one. Do I serve God because I love him or because I'm hoping for something in return? Do I serve God because I love him, or am I hoping for something in return? Am I in it for the benefits? Here's the problem. The truth is, a lot of us came to God because we wanted something. We came to God because we were in a bad situation. We were down and like, man, I've got to turn my life around. I've got to change. I don't know what, but I need God. And we've kept that kind of faith. That's all about what I can get. God, it should be getting better. We say those prayers and we expect God to treat us different because now I've been in this a while. I mean, I've got 11 days in a row streak on the Bible app right now. He should be answering my prayers. I should be getting that job over this person even though I'm not qualified for it, God, because I've served you. We make those deals. God, I should get the A on the test even though I didn't study for it, because God, you can do all things. I remember I used to pray. When I'd study, I'd pray, God, bring everything back to my remembrance. And then when I didn't study, I was going, God, you know everything. Just show me. Just reveal it. God, you know algebra inside and out. So help me with that. Because we think we should get the extra. Shelby, will you come back up? I felt I needed to speak on this because it's so vital. And I see so many people walk away. And this is one that I struggle with myself. I mean, there's been nights that I argue with God. I go, I've served you faithfully for 20-something years now in the church. I've given my life to you. I've moved from here to there, wherever I felt I was supposed to go, God, just serving you. Sometimes they treated me good, sometimes they treated me bad. God, I've prayed, I've fasted. And God, I know you're my healer. So God, why is my mom still sick? I've pleaded. God, I've seen you change hearts in other people, God, that are going through addictions, and I've seen them set free. I've prayed for them. Why are there some in my family that still struggle? I mean, I've done what I'm supposed to do, God. Done my part. So I've been there. And I don't know why He heals some and not others. But I still know by His stripes we are healed. And that relationship I have with Him is I serve a loving God who loves me, who cares for me. And I'm still trusting in Him, even if it's not in my time, even if there's moments that I'm shaking the vending machine and crying out, why? God, I'm still trusting in that covenant with you. I love you more than your stuff. And that's the faith. That's the faith. I'm believing even if I'm not seen, because I'm loving because I know you. And I'm passionate about you. Jesus said this. You can stand with me. Jesus said this. He said in Matthew 6, He said, seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. You seek the kingdom, and all these things will be added unto you. Watch the order. You seek Him, the stuff comes. I'm not seeking the stuff. I'm seeking Him. And because I seek Him and I trust Him and I love Him and I know He has the best for me, all these things, some of the things that I thought I needed, I don't need, I've learned. So it's not those stuff that gets added unto me. Some of the stuff He keeps from me to protect me. Some of the stuff that I wanted, some of the stuff I prayed for, I'm glad He didn't answer because He knew best all along. So I just seek Him and I trust Him to add what I need at the moment, because that's the covenant with Him. It's not a vending machine transactional faith with Him. It's a relationship with Him, that I love Him. I seek Him, and I have found that as I seek Him, the stuff that I did want don't even matter in my life anymore. He begins to change my heart. When I seek first Him, all of a sudden what I did want doesn't matter. It's what He wants that matters more than anything, because the closer I get to Him, my wants change, my desires change, all the things change. So when I seek Him and it's all about Him, that's when everything else changes. So if I'm still at it for the stuff, I'm missing out on the goodness of Him. Seek Him, seek Him, seek Him, seek Him, seek Him first. Seek Him above everything else. Seek Him before anything else. Seek Him before you seek approval of others. You seek Him before you seek the things of this world. You seek Him. You seek God before you seek money. You seek God before you seek your comfort. You seek God before you seek your own will. You seek God earnestly. God, I long for you. You're the object of my affection, God, above anything else. God, I want you. It's all about loving God for who He is, not for just what He does. You bow your heads with me. Because listen, I realize some of you in this place, you've probably been hurt by God because He didn't answer the way you thought He would answer. You've had prayers and you've pleaded, and you've questioned, and you've asked why, and you've tried to bargain with Him, deal with Him, like it's a transactional kind of faith. God, you could have prevented it. God, you could have stopped it. God, you could have changed it. God, you could have. And you've shook the vending machine in anger. And this morning, I want to plead with you for healing to come. For healing to really take place. This morning, can you seek Him? Can you have a relationship with God? Because He wants that with you. And His covenant with you is a lasting covenant. So this morning you say, Pastor, I want Him. Something you might even know Him, but you really want to earnestly seek Him to heal some pains. Because knowing Him gives peace, it gives comfort, it gives everything. So I want Him, and I want to to seek him. If that's you, come on, will you slip up your hand? I want to pray. There's one. There's another. There's another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. I want to seek God this morning. Not his stuff. I want to seek him. Above everything else, I want to seek him. I want to pray for you, Father. God, you saw every hand that was raised. God, you see the hurt that they've dealt with. God, you saw the pain. You saw every tear they cried, God. God, every disappointment they faced, God, you saw it all. All the times they questioned you. But God, today, I pray that you bring healing to them as they put their trust and their faith in you. God, they're seeking you above everything else. So, God, as they seek you, let all the other things, God, that you know they need, God, as they seek you first, let all the other things come into place. As we move into relational covenant faith with you. This morning, I want to spend a little time as we just worship. And if the Holy Spirit during this has revealed some things to you where you've been mad at God, well, will you be honest with him? He's fine if you're honest. That's relationship. That's relationship is sometimes just telling him. It's communicating. So, will you begin the relationship by going to him and seeking him this morning? Well, let the Holy Spirit begin to reveal some stuff to you. And let healing take place this morning as we just worship him.